what we're going to be doing is the document of the day. So does everybody have their document of the day thing? So we're going to title this the Virginia House of Burgesses, the Virginia Resolves. And I'm going to come around and look at your study guides. So we're titling this document the Virginia House of Burgesses Resolves. And do y'all remember the Virginia House of Burgesses? Study guide. Okay, so this was in the Chesapeake. It was their self-government, right? Okay, so what's going to happen is I'm going to read through portions of the document, and then we're going to come up with what the summary is. Okay, so does everybody have the title? So it says, it is the opinion of this committee that the sole right of imposing taxes on the inhabitants of this Majesty's colony and the Dominion of Virginia is now and ever hath been legally, constitutionally vested in the House of Burgesses. Okay, I'm stopping there. What words do we not know? Inhabitants mean people of what? The Majesty's colony. So the inhabitants means people who live where? In the colony of what? Virginia. So that's inhabitants. They're living in Virginia. They're saying what? What other word do we have issues with? You want me to read it again so we can figure it out? It is the opinion of this committee that the sole right of imposing taxes on the inhabitants of the Majesty's colony in the Dominion of Virginia is now and ever hath been legally, constitutionally vested in the House of Burgesses. What other words do we need? Committee. So this committee is what? The House of Burgesses, right? So the House of Burgesses is saying what? What other words do I need? Do you know what vested means? Vested. So vested means power. When you are 18, will you be vested with power? What will be your power at 18? Vote. So you will be vested with the power to vote. Right now, are you vested with that? No. So now, it says, it is the opinion of this committee that the sole right of imposing taxes on the inhabitant of the Majesty's colony and the Dominion of Virginia is now and ever hath been legally, constitutionally vested in the House of Burgesses. So, what power, according to this first part of what we read in this paragraph, does the House of Burgesses have? What power that is legal and constitutional do they have? Impose taxes. So, this is what we're going to write. You see where it says, write it in your own words? The House of Burgesses has the right to what? Impose taxes. So it is the opinion of this committee that the sole right of imposing taxes on the inhabitants of this Majesty's colony and the Dominion of Virginia is now and ever hath been legally, constitutionally vested in the House of Burgesses. We got to there, right? And y'all told me, in our own words, this means the House of Burgesses has the right to impose taxes. All right, let's read the last half. It says, lawfully convened according to the ancient and established practices with the consent of council and His Majesty, the King of Britain, or his governor for the time being. What words do we have issues with? Convene. We are convening right now. The bell rung. It signaled at the end of third period that you needed to go where? Fourth period. Today, we did not convene in what class? Tribe, because we are later going to convene in a what? And if you don't want to convene in that pep rally, because you yourself are just so much pep, where can you go convene? The cafeteria or the library, unless you're just not that spirited, you could go there too, right? Convene at 3:55. The let you be released, right? And then you can later convene yourself in the parking lot to go home. You get what convene is?
Yeah.
Some of you did not want to convene today, right? You didn't want to come here, but you came. How many of you are going to go convene at that football game tonight? Some of us, yes. I wish they were live streaming it because I just think there's. They are? Really? It's gonna be. We listen to the radio. Sorry, people online. Okay, did y'all get convene? Okay, some people who are watching this online, could they convene with us today? No. So it has been lawfully convened according. So there's been a group of people, right, who came together, who said that it was okay for them to tax. Who are these people?
The king.
The kings agreed to it. The Majesty, the King of Great Britain, has agreed that they could do what?
Impose taxes.
Impose taxes. Who else has agreed?
His governor.
His governor?
And
His council. Whose council does he have?
the king.
It's a group of people who have a lot of power in England.
Burgesses.
The Parliament. Okay, so basically they're saying they have the right to tax, and when you're trying to justify yourself, do you use everybody's name you know who's agreed to this? So they're saying we have the right to tax ourselves, and it's been lawfully convened. Basically, it's been agreed upon, right, by law, by established practice. Wait, we didn't even talk about that. Established, huh? There's been a vote for some laws, such as the Magna Carta. Do y'all remember the Magna Carta? The Magna Carta took away rights from the king and established a parliament. There's also been the English Bill of Rights, which told the people they have the right to self-government and to tax themselves and elect agents. So these ancient practices are established what? Rules. There's been established rules. There's been parliament, the king, his governor, that said this could all go on. Hey, so when you do something and they're like, no, you're wrong, do you try to say, I have the permission of all these people to do this? Yes, right? So are they justifying their case saying, we have the right to tax because you've agreed to it, king, your parliament has agreed to it, the governor has agreed to it, and the laws of England have agreed to it? Have they just justified their reason? So y'all have, the House of Burgesses has the right to what?
Impose taxes.
And it's been agreed upon by whom?
The king.
King,
The
Parliament,
and the governor.
governor. Okay. Wow. Do they have a lot of power now? From our study guide, do we know what they're getting upset about? And I have Cheyenne's. She's like, she can't go on and look at what they're getting upset about. What are they getting upset about from our study guide that we've seen? What are they getting upset about? The taxes. Do we see some taxes that they've implemented that they're upset about? Yes. What were those? Stamp Act sugar. Did they have a voice in those? That was done by who? England. Who in England?
The parliament.
The Parliament. It was also done by the King. And have they overstepped their role?
Yes.
So at this moment, this is before 1769. The Stamp Act, the Sugar Act have been done. And they're looking at them saying, whoa, know your role, you've overstepped it, right? So let's look at the next one. It is the opinion of this committee that there should be an undoubted privilege of the inhabitants of this colony to petition their sovereign for redress of grievances. Okay, I'm going to stop there. What words do we need to go over? Petition. Petition means to write. Is this a written statement here? Okay, what other words do we need? Sovereign. Sovereign means power. So who is sovereign in your house?
My mom.
Your parents, right? Okay, y'all admit it. It's not your parents, it's the mom. Okay? Sovereign means who has the power. Some other people in my other class, they were like, it's the dog. I was like, okay.
True.
Right? And some of them, it's like my baby brother. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's so true.
Okay, so sovereign means who has the power. So right now, y'all are waiting till you become 18, right? And you're waiting till you go to college because what happens to your sovereignty? It increases because will you be living at home? Now, right now, do you have much sovereignty?
No.
No, so who would be the sovereign? Who would be the sovereign that they're petitioning? They're petitioning the king. What other words do we not know? Grievances. It's a complaint. What is their complaint that we learned from the first paragraph? The taxing. Okay, so what's the other word?
Expedient?
Expedient means quickly, but you already started reading on.
Sorry, I didn't.
Privilege. So it is the undoubted privilege of the inhabitants of colonies. We have this right to what? Write you about our complaints. What other word are we missing? Redress. Do you know what redress means?
No.
Redress means, I'm sorry I did that to you. 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 So what do they keep on doing? They're being annoying, right? But what has been happening? Do they have to do this over constantly? Why are they having to do this constantly? Why are they having to go, I keep on telling her I'm sorry. I keep on telling her I'm sorry because what am I doing to her? Am I doing something nice to her? No, if I have to apologize for something I've done something out of step. What has the king done out of step that they're constantly having to readdress? He's taxing them, and is he supposed to be doing that? And so they have a grievance with him, and have they had to do this grievance once? Multiple times, because that's what redress means. What happens if someone keeps on doing something over and over and over wrong to you?
You get stomped.
What?
You get very angry with
You
her.
get very angry with them, and what happens to your patience?
It just goes
Slim.
there. It's not
It's,
there anymore.
okay, but does it sound like they're sounding very patient with him?
No.
It is the, okay, we're gonna read on, and we're gonna figure out their temperament.
Pop it off.
But it says, it is the opinion of this committee that it is the undoubted privilege of the inhabitants of this colony to petition their sovereign for a redress of grievance. So what is it their privilege is? What is this that it's their right? What right do they have according to this?
To write to them.
They have the right to write to who?
The king.
So the people have the right to write to the king to what?
Complain.
To petition their grievances.
To petition their grievances. What, but let's put that in our own words. What is petition? They're writing to him to what?
Complain.
Well,
To-
it's complain but not complain. It's like
But what are they asking him to do with these grievances?
Oh,
to get rid of
change.
them.
To get rid of them, to fix them. So they're writing to him to fix the
It's like
problem.
when you send a letter into HR about something at work.
Yes. Gosh. So are they being very polite here?
Probably not.
Okay, so a lot of times people are upset, right? Because if you're having to redress the same situation, are you as nice? So they're writing a letter because they want the king to fix what problem? They're writing to the king, so that's the next problem. We are writing to the king to get him to fix this issue about taxation.
Is that still in your own words or is that the historical?
This is in our own words, okay? So we still have a little bit of to go, right? Because we're only halfway through this document. It is lawful and expedient to procure the concurrence of His Majesty's other colonies in a dutiful address, praying for the royal interposition in favor of the violating rights of America. What words do we not know? Expedient, that meant quickly. What other words? Concurrence. Concurrence means that we hope that he will agree. Can we concur that it is Friday and we wish it was Saturday? Yes. Okay. We could all concur. Can we all concur that the Cowboys lost their football game last night? Yes. Okay.
But let me guess, they're still going to the Super Bowl.
You know,
It was still a good game.
there's hope, but apparently an all statistics says if you lose your first two games, the probability of you going to the Super Bowl is very unlikely, and there's only been one team to ever do it.
I can tell you what's going to happen. First round playoff loss again.
Okay, let's see if we could concur that in January with him. So what does concur mean? to agree. Okay, so he's predicting in the future, right? They're trying to get who to agree? The king and the what?
Other colonies.
Parliament.
So the other 12 colonies, right? That they want this grievance addressed how? How do they want it? This lawful and expedient. They want this quickly. They want the king to address this quickly. And let's look at this last part. They're praying for the royal interposition in favor of the violated rights of America. So what does it mean to pray?
Like you're like hoping.
You're hoping, right? Who is this royal interposition? The king. To favor who?
The people.
The colonists that their whats have been violated. Their rights, okay? So the second part is that they're praying that the king does what? Does this quickly. What does he agree? What does he concur?
That their rights have been violated.
They're hoping that the king agrees that their rights have been violated. Quickly agrees to this. And many people are probably going to quickly start agreeing with Mason when the Cowboys lose their next game. That maybe this Super Bowl hopes.
And then they go 5-6 and lose in the first round.
Okay, has this been a repetitive trend that you're now concurring with us? Okay, you should be a sports.
5 years?
Oh yeah, it's a concurrence of evidence, right? Okay, so do y'all get concurrence now? So they're upset because what has happened to them in the first paragraph? They have been what?
Violated.
Violated by how? Taxing. They agree that only who should tax them? Them. They now have gone and addressed the king, right? Saying, look, this is happening over and over again. Y'all saw in your study guide, Sugar and Stan. Let's look at the next one. It says it's this opinion of this committee that a humble, dutiful, and loyal address be presented to His Majesty to assure him of our inviolable attachment to his sacred person in government and to beseech his royal interposition as the father of all his people, however remote an empire he set. Whoa. Okay, let's talk about this. How does it sound like they're addressing the king?
Well,
Respectfully. What do you say is respectful here?
Father of all his people.
Father of all his people. Humble and dutiful and loyal. His sacred person. Have you ever tried to go to your... Yeah, have you ever gone and tried to your parent and talk to them and try to kiss butt with them? Are you being like, Ma, come do this? Or are you like, Ma, how are you today? How was your day? Okay.
Every day.
Okay, every day. There's a different way you approach your mom. When you're mad with your mom, there's a way you say mom, right? But when you're trying to butter up your mom, is there a way you're like, Mommy, Mommy dearest? Okay, so are they pulling this? Are they buttering up the king?
yes.
Yes. How do they say their relationship with the king is? This inviolable attachment. What, do y'all know what inviolable attachment is? A lot of you are inviolable attached to your parents because they bankroll you. Do they bankroll you? Do they let you stay at their house for free? They sure do. Do some of them pay for other stuff and let you have food and let you like breathe, I guess? They brought you into this world as a free gift of their love to you.
Yeah. I was an accident. Me too.
Cole, y'all are just admitting this stuff onto our online person. They're gonna come, if they really watch it, they're gonna come back, Cole and Mason. They've made class very interesting. You know, we'll really know if they tune in. We'll really know if they tuned in now. I was thinking fourth period would be a safe place for us to record.
You
Cool.
never know if they're gonna.
We're just having dashboard confessionals right here. Okay, so how do we say that they're treating the king? Are they upset with him?
No.
No.
Well, I mean, not the way they're treating him.
Not the way they're treating him. How are they treating him?
They're buttering him up.
They're buttering him up and they're saying, are we peace out done, let's rebel? Or are we still loyal to the king? We're still loyal to the king.
As long as he gives them it.
As long as he gives them what they want. So have you ever done this, parents? You butter them up and you're trying to get something from them and then they don't give it to you and you're just like, oh, and you march off.
Walk away.
You walk away. Okay, so this is like the next 10 years of my parenting life with my kids. So
Things are worse than
I just
that.
start negotiations.
it's getting worse. Oh my gosh, she's only 8, so I'm worried. Okay, but now looking at this, they're buttering up the king. And there's a reason why. They're hoping he sides in their favor, right? They're saying they're loyal. But there's something else going on in the midst of why they're trying to butter him up. And I want us to get to the last few sentences. It says, as the father of the people, however, remote in the seat of empire, to quiet the minds of his loyal subjects. Are his loyal subjects going a little crazy now because of this taxation? Yeah, can y'all tell me some events of the colonists going crazy because of taxation?
Was this the Boston Tea Party?
Boston Tea Party, they're tarring. We have the Sons of Liberty. Is that really like quieting those people? No, they said we need to quiet our minds because there's some dangerous stuff coming. He says to avert from them the dangers and miseries which will ensue. What would be dangerous and miserable if it ensued? War. These people from Virginia are very fearful of war because are things getting a little tense in the colonies? Yeah, we have Boston Tea Party, which we'll see later that the Boston Tea Party happens in 1773. Is that after this? Yes, but are they predicting that to happen? Yes, but I do see the tarring and feathering of colonial agents. And this is happening. Is it happening in Virginia? It's happening in Massachusetts. So they're very fearful of this. They're very fearful of war. So does the South want to revolt?
Yes.
No. Does the New England area want to revolt where it's yes. So they're also fearful, and I want us to look at this because this is something from our study guide. From seizing and carrying beyond the sea any person residing in America suspected of any crime whatsoever, to be tried in a manner other than the ancient and long established course of proceedings. I want you to look at your study guide. People are committing crimes and being taken where? Overseas. And I want you to tell me what from your study guide would violate their rights according to this.
Wasn't it saying that they were just going to be counted as guilty?
They're going to be they're going to be counted guilty until proven innocent. And what were these courts called? What was it? It's somewhere on our study guide. Amorality courts. You are guilty until proven innocent. Is that a violation of their rights? Because what we know it's supposed to be is what? Innocent until proven guilty. And when you go to court, what should also be there? A jury. Is there any jury there? No. Is this going to be a speedy trial if you're going to have to go to England? So when you're there in England, they put you in jail, right? Is there an attorney? Are you getting out on bail? Are they violating their rights? And are they scared? Because is it their area that's causing the trouble, or is it the New England area causing the trouble? Okay, so let's look at what the document says. This part of the document says what? Who has the right to tax them? The colony, House of Burgesses. Has everybody else agreed to this? Yes. This next one. It says we have the right to who? The king. And ask him to do what with this?
To agree with our grievances.
To agree and fix it, right? Then, we're saying that the king, what are we trying to do with him? And we're saying that we're loyal, right? Because do they have fear? What's going to happen to them? New England is going to break out into war, and some of us are going to be going into what? Jail. And are these jails nice jails?
No.
Are they adhering to our principles of the rights of an Englishman? So now let's look at the historical situation. What historical stuff can I relate to this from we've seen from our study guide? Y'all said what? What were some of the taxations that they were upset about?
All this
Stamp Act, Sugar Act, And the Amorality Courts, can we say T yet?
No, it hasn't.
No, it hasn't happened. It's 4 years down the road. But are they foreshadowing? Yeah, that could be a foreshadowing. Okay, who is the intended audience of this document?
The king.
The king. The king is the intended audience. Is there anybody else? Parliament, maybe? And other colonies. Right? What do you think their purpose is?
To get the king and the colonies to agree with their grievances.
What do they want to stop?
Those taxes.
The tax. They want the tax to stop. Right. Alright, what do you think their point of view is? Are they ready to revolt, Virginia? Are they loyal or are they revolutionary? They're loyal. They're loyal. Right? They've even said, we beseech you. We're loyal. We're attached. Do they want to revolt? So where would be the last area in the revolution to actually revolt? Virginia, the South. And there's something that they do. Because the revolution is in New England, right? So, when the war breaks out, they appoint someone the general. Who is the general they appoint? Washington. Where's Washington from?
England? No.
He's from Virginia, and if they appoint a Virginian, what are they hoping that Virginia will do? Will they stay attached or will they revolt?
Revolt.
And that's why George Washington's put in command. Okay, so let's look at this. What was the historical situation? We got Stamp Act, Sugar Act, Amorality Courts, right? What was their intended audience? King, Parliament,
And
other colonies to join in with them. What's their purpose?
to get the king to change the taxes.
Get the king to change the taxes. What's their point of view? We are what? What? They're loyal. Are they eager to revolt or are they reluctant? Reluctant. So let's look at our categories. Is this beliefs?
No.
No. Is this America and the world?
Yes.
Are we really America yet?
No.
Is this geography? Is this politics?
Yes.
Yes. Is this identity, peopling movement and migration, or economy? Economic. Okay, this document will